All right. Well, tell
Yeah.
me about what you're doing. I'm interested to learn a bit more about it, and then, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
go
Well,
there.
a lot of you're speaking on, my career in UX.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of what I've been doing these past 2 years is just trying to I would say break that threshold into like professionalism. I know I have professional skills, but to me, it's working part of like a full-fledged design team. I believe that's the threshold of getting your foot in the door and just being able to speak towards your skills with sheer confidence. And just going from like I'd probably say like entry designer or junior designer, and actually saying that, hey, I'm a professional designer, somewhat something of senior status. So with UX, a lot of what I focus on is product design. So more so, I'd say more so product design, UX product designer.
Mm,
What I like to say to a lot of people is that I'm really interested in creative problem solving. For me, it's just it's the aspect of the design process where I get to work with stakeholders or executives or business owners from start to pretty much like finish. I like having like a valued opinion as part of a design team. So creating these products, which would be like digital websites or applications, what
mm,
I'm really interested in is like that creation process of it. And for me, a lot of it is aesthetics, a lot of it is user interfaces, but to break that down and like kind of like own in a little bit, it would be like creating components. So cards or creating like text fields, making color choices, pictures, videos, and just making sure that the whole process is streamlined. So making
mm,
anything less hectic for a lot of like individuals who are new to these products or services. What's the best way that I can make this whole process for them easy?
mm,
So daily, I'm always finding myself in like conversations or joining like small topics about everything that has to do with design, everything that has to do with product and project management, everything that has to do with accessibility. These are a lot of things that really interest me because the world is ever changing, especially in the world of tech. So, what are ways that I can keep myself in the conversation? What are some ways that I can keep myself in the loop? Um, so what I'm doing right now to get myself to kickstart my career is I'm applying to, I don't know, at least 10 jobs a day, at least 20 jobs, if not more. So just applying to jobs on the fly, networking with like individuals that I went to school with who are like working for like professional companies like Google, Amazon, GoPro, Nike, etc. Um,
mm,
so just reaching out to these individuals, I can definitely like leverage my network because General Assembly, the boot camp that I attended to, it's thousands and thousands of people that went through these boot camps. And that's honestly like the traditional route for a lot of people who break off into tech. I have individuals or friends who are software engineers, friends that are product managers or project managers, friends who are data analysts or data scientists. So just like conversating with them and like what they really did to like break out into their career. And the reason why it's been 2 years for me is because I just put the whole job search down while I was working in Alaska. So that just really just got in the way
mm,
of, hey, this is what Maurcell really wants to do. And working for Dion, that was more like a, hey, you need to put this down and like focus on work. Sure, the
mm.
money was good, but it wasn't really like something that I was really passionate about. So that's why
Right.
like ever since I've been out here since like November, I've just been like grinding at hey, UX, hey, product design, hey, this is like really what you want to do. Um, so
When you say product design, are we talking about CAD design? So if someone wants to develop a product,
mhm.
you would then go about designing it, a digital
Yeah,
version of it.
I I honestly yes, yes, CAD design. You're very much on the spot with that.
Yeah.
But I only used products or services like Unreal Engine for like game design. I've
Right. Yeah.
used Cinema 4D for product design, but I never found myself utilizing those softwares much, and a lot of everything that I used was Adobe,
Yeah.
Figma, so like Photoshop, InDesign, Sketch, and what the heck else is it? Illustrator. So using
Yeah.
like simple products like those, softwares like those to just create like honestly it's like landing pages or like web applications and prototypes.
Mm.
So not a lot of CAD design,
All
if I
right.
can say that.
So
But
you
I
see
am
mainly
aware of that.
focusing on websites and apps, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's just hold it there because I just had an idea.
Go for
So,
it.
so what about, would you ever get into the market of creating courses to teach other people like yourself that want to get
Yeah.
into, your industry, and then you would create a scalable course, a digital course that then takes them through the process of becoming a designer?
I would say that's very much doable. I definitely wouldn't shy away
Yeah,
from something like that. It would just
yeah,
take like a lot of it would take like a lot of research and implementation to, hey, is this something that like we really want to do? Then we want to look at like the metrics and see like hey, is this something that would actually have like a really good turnover rate for
it would.
looking at
Yeah.
like other courses out there.
Yeah, it's something that's scalable, and effectively all that you would have to do. I mean, you wouldn't even have to research it. You would just put together because things like that already exist. We know that they exist.
Yeah, lots of
So
them.
that and courses are really big at the moment. And
Hmm.
all that you would have to do is create an MVP, just a minimum viable product. It costs
Yeah.
next to nothing to execute, test it.
Hmm.
So run some ads, test it.
Yeah.
At the end of that runway, there wouldn't necessarily have to be an actual course. They could just
Hmm.
get entered into a waiting list, and
Yeah.
then that would prove that there's a market for that. And then it would just be a question of developing the actual course itself.
Hmm.
Excuse me, and the different packages. You have something like a tiered system where you've got a top ticket, middle ticket, low ticket offer, and then once you've done the work, it's just plug and play. You're just running ads. That's it.
Yeah.
Your master classes, all of your content,
Hmm.
even your closing, that's all automated. So therefore, it's something to actually bring in some revenue whilst you're focusing on whatever it is you want
Yeah.
to focus.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of what I do see in the realm of that is you'll see that it's multi-platform. So you'll
Yeah.
see like these same videos that, let's say, would be on this website or this application. You would also find like snippets of it on YouTube, or you would find videos of this on platforms like Skillshare, or just lots of other platforms out there. So I would say that a lot of what I see is these things are multi-platform. And I have one guy who has essentially been my teacher for like a number of years, taught me
Yeah.
Adobe products, has taught me like Figma and website design, color theory and all these things. And
Mhm.
while this started on YouTube, it then brought me to Skillshare, and then it brought me to his personal website where he has all of his courses. And he has like a small little organization. So I would definitely say this is something that is definitely doable. And just, writing that up. Like
Yeah,
it's out there.
it's easy. I mean, we've done similar things to that before, just in different industries. But I mean, we're working on a project at the moment.
Mhm.
I'm doing some consultancy for a girl that has a health and wellness business, and she's
Okay.
like a nutritionist, plant-based nutritionist,
Okay.
uh, fitness coach.
Yeah.
And we're looking at a valuation for her company by month 4 about 1.4 million.
Okay.
On a conservative guess, just because of the way that the campaign's working at the moment, and we've developed a runway for her products which she didn't have before. So it's effectively a nurturing process where we get people using the product for free,
Okay.
and then they see the results,
Yeah.
and then they buy at the end. It's just your
Yeah.
standard, your
Yeah.
little
First.
5-day challenge type thing. But what we're finding at the moment, I think you've frozen. It's dropped off. Oh, you're back.
Hi. Did I just?
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
just
was like, what the hell?
dropped off for a second.
Okay. No, so
What?
yeah, I was just saying like, yeah, first stage would always be user acquisition. So like what are ways that, we could just like plug them into the system that can get like a taste of it, and if they like
Yeah,
it, yeah.
yeah. It's the most straightforward, common sense way of selling something. It's just getting people using it. So where we have a really good runway that works really effectively, and now our targeting for our leads is so good at the moment that people are buying before they've even done the challenge.
Okay.
So they're just coming into the challenge group, reading some of the materials. Everybody gets a downloadable ebook, like a guide that takes them through the challenge,
Yeah.
and people are buying. Like we've made already. We've not even started the challenge yet. We've made about $5,000 worth of sales.
Okay. Yeah.
So and it was the same on the last one. So basically, the numbers now are so good. What we're aiming towards is getting 1,000 people per challenge, which we're almost there.
Okay.
As soon as we hit that 1,000 mark, that's it. It's just incline from there. We're scaling from
No,
that point.
that's pretty awesome.
So her business is going to be worth a lot of money. So challenges such as that, it's big money, really big money. Get people
Yeah.
using your product. 3-day, 5-day, free. Very, very base level. You're not giving away the secret sauce, but it's enough for people to get an idea and get some value, especially and have that it gives you that kind of credibility as well. That people are actually learning something. Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely want to follow this guy. And then you have a series of upsells at the end, and your product is already made. It's digital, so therefore they just click buy, and that's it. They do your course.
Yeah, I can definitely believe that. Because, well, I guess I've worked on some projects for real clients, and the money's there, the numbers are there,
Yeah,
the users are most definitely out there. It just really comes down to, yeah, just as you said, like how you're going to market this, how you're going to strategize and just write this
yeah.
off.
It's simple stuff. It's not rocket science. I think there's a lot of people out there doing it, and I've seen some pretty terrible examples. But we've got some systems that work really well that you can just transplant into anything. Doesn't matter what it is. You could be selling dildos or something like that, and
Yeah.
still use the systems.
Yeah, no,
Just
real shit. At this, it used to be a laughing matter, but like now it's like I believe it. I believe it all because I've just seen it. Like,
yeah. It's exactly the same thing. Okay, so what's the product? It's this. All right, yeah. Here's the system. We
yeah,
just tweak it, and just specialize it and make it a little bit more about that specific product. But ultimately, the framework is the same.
okay, yeah. I'm also working with a friend on he's trying to sell his own vans like as a rental service, car rental service, kind of like Turo.
Yeah.
So he just wants to make it on like a more personal level where it's just like him. He still does like Uber, or he does Airbnb, or he does Turo, and then he's still just going to pretty much like, yeah, transplant his users from that service, and then, hey, check out my personal service and check out these rates versus like the competition.
Oh, right. Yeah.
um
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
so
cool. Okay.
yeah, that
So,
that
so
that does sound like a good idea.
in terms of like your career, it just in a nutshell, like how far can you actually take that? If you started working for a company,
Mhm.
um, you know, where could you end up? 100
Well,
grand, 200 grand, 300 grand a year. Obviously
I
you've
would say,
done the
yeah.
job.
Yeah, as far as I could probably go with UX, even like as a senior, I'd probably see myself making as much as 140 to 160,000 yearly, and that might be 2, 3 years down the road.
That's
As an in,
Yeah.
yeah,
Stop
as
there. Stop there.
no, no, exactly. And I never saw UX as the end of the road for me. I wanted to like
Yeah.
kind of like segue my way into being a front end full stack engineer. Um and then take those skills take that experience and then just go into like consulting for myself, because I know
Yeah.
that I can make so much more money by offering my personal services than to work for a company.
Yeah, yeah, and I know I know that it sounds really, it's good for your resume to have something, you know, on your resume that you've worked for one of these big companies,
Exactly.
but only if you're going for another job, you know.
Exactly.
But nobody gives a shit. Like our the owner of our marketing team, we've got a marketing team, but he owns the company that we white label, and he's worked for Google. And I'm like, well, I don't
Yeah,
really care whether he worked for Google or not. It doesn't really affect me. I just need to know whether you can do the job or not. That's it.
exactly.
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
so,
Yeah.
so
So
I just think that I always think that, you know, if you work, if a job, you're never ever going to be paid your worth for that job.
true that.
You know, depending on what it is, you know, within reason, you're never going to be paid what you're really worth. So you're always going to feel somewhat, you know, like you're getting the shitty end of the stick.
Yeah, and that's really what it feels like. Especially like when you look at someone in my position, you're just like, oh, well, your back's against the wall, and so you kind of like have to go out and get a job in order to like pay your bills. So while someone may like freak out and they're just like, okay, well, yeah, let me just go ahead and get a job. But you also got to look at like their skills. Like, hey, Maurcell, like I know all of these things. I have participated in work in real projects for real products that have been released out there. It's
Yeah,
just now, okay, the circumstances. But I've always admired the idea of working for myself, or starting something up with a friend or strangers or whatever.
yeah,
Um, that's definitely it, because I want to work on my own time. I want to go wherever the hell I want to go, and I want to do whatever I
yeah.
want to do, but also, do what I enjoy doing, which is designing, which is photography, which is, just starting something up.
Yeah. You know, if you start up your own business, as much as I've over the years, I've started businesses on pretty much nothing. Um, Many times, I even scaled a business that was worth over $1 million in the first year, and I put zero of my own money into it. But it takes time. You know, it doesn't always work like that. You know, usually the common denominator is it's going to take a lot more time because you've got less money, so therefore you've got less resources or access to less resources.
Yeah.
So you've got to be very resourceful. But you know, if you do have venture capital, especially when it comes to developing, you know, a course or something like that, you know, if we sort of stay with that idea, then you're going to need, you know, good design, which you can do yourself. You need a good landing page, which you can do
Yeah.
yourself. You know,
You
funnels,
definitely
that
need
kind of thing.
a,
You can probably do all
yeah.
that yourself. Email automations, you could probably do that too. You know, maybe some chat bots here and there. You know,
Yeah.
who knows? You know, if you want to put all the bells and whistles, but ultimately it comes down to ads, having a good ad manager, having a good ad budget. You know, and having at least 2 months to go through the teething
Yeah.
process, testing out the ads, developing your ad account. Because it's not just a case of having a bunch of money and then throwing loads of money at ads. You know, Facebook and Instagram, they won't let you do that. You know, they will gradually, you will have to basically build a reputation with them, build a relationship rather with them.
Mhm.
So if they think you're just some sort of fly by night, you know, here today, gone tomorrow type
Yeah.
company that's there to make a quick buck,
Mhm.
you know, they'll get rid of you, or they'll restrict your ad account. So it takes about 2 months. After that, then you can really start to pump money into these ads. So that's where the venture capital would come in useful, and you know, leveraging business lines of credit, that kind of stuff. It's total common sense, like
Yeah.
absolute common sense. Never use your own money, never use your personal credit, always use business credit to scale a business. Personal credit is more to do with buying things that you can't afford and then paying them off over multiple years. You know, whereas business credit is actually taking money from the bank and then putting it into something that's actually going to, you know, double or triple that, and then pay the bank back within the time scales, so therefore you don't have to pay any interest.
Yeah.
And then it's just a rinse and repeat process after that. You just go back and ask for some more and some more and some more. And before you know it, you've got $1 million worth of business credit.
Yep.
You know, and then start, you know, developing a trust, things like that, you know, develop a trust, take out life insurance policies. Through your life insurance policy, then start your own bank effectively, so you can take out loans against your life insurance policy.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's just loads of little financial tricks that, you know, nobody ever teaches you, because wealthy people don't want you to know this.
Right. Yeah, but it's literally out there on the internet. I
It is,
utilized a lot of Chat GPT ever since like
yeah,
it probably just before it went mainstream. But this is something that can definitely be implemented for you know, me doing my designs, me
yeah.
wanting to start up my own consultancy.
Mm,
Because this information is really out there, and they just
yeah.
found a way to just pretty much make this like a central point of the World Wide Web and all the information that's out there.
Yeah.
Speak to something.
In terms of the consultancy, sorry,
But
my thought process is like very, very direct. I
yeah,
have
go
like
for it.
I have ADHD, so like I get, and I actually have I sort of, my mind kind of floats off when there's too
Yeah,
much information. But
no,
if
hit
I'm
me.
having very direct conversations, I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm on it, totally on it.
Yeah.
And but part of that is I have hyperfixation, so I can like, I just become obsessed with subjects, which is
Mhm.
brilliant if you want to develop ideas.
Yeah.
But in terms of the consultancy, like what type of client let's just maybe focus on what does your ideal client look like in terms of consultancy, so we can understand that.
Okay, my ideal client would be someone who would approach me with a business idea. So to speak with me, that already sounds like it's going to cost money. Because
Okay.
not everyone has a streamlined idea, but I can help them with the ideating phase of what the hell it actually is that they want to build. Then other services is me actually teaching these individuals about say you want to learn UX, you want to get into UX, so I can just teach you like the bare bones, the basics of, you know, what UX is and how you can leverage your skill sets and kind of like break off into this industry. Other things that I can do for these individuals is I can create these prototypes for them, not saying that I can make you a fully functional clickable website, but I can offer that services. I can use things like Squarespace, or I can use things like competitors to Squarespace, which is essentially website builders, and I could just make something that they can create for them. That I can create for them, and then they can manage it after our time with one another is done, and just essentially move on. If you want to move on to something that's more so advanced, we can create a website experience, something that you just want to find someone that can UX or just create like an experience for you.
Yeah.
I can
So
also
they would
do.
be, I heard two things there. So
Go ahead.
one of them is that they're a business owner that needs your services. And then the other thing that I heard is that they're, you know, they're effectively wanting to get into UX. So
Mhm.
therefore they need you to teach them,
Exactly.
which then puts them in the coaching category,
Yeah.
you know, or the course, you know,
Mhm.
category. So specifically for the business owners that actually need your consultancy services,
Mhm.
what type of clients are you looking for? Are you looking for big business owners, startups, small businesses? Yeah,
Small businesses to startups. I'm I wouldn't feel too confident with where I'm at, only because I haven't had the experience with working with a big business. So
right.
I know I have the experience, and yeah, I simply do have the experience with working with small startups and
Yeah,
small clients like sole
yeah.
proprietors.
Startups and small businesses have startup money and small money. That's the
Hmm.
only thing. So you know, it's a question of, you know, pre-qualifying those clients on the basis of, well, are they going to be able to afford to pay me? Like, how much would you charge for consultancy, and how long for? for
I'd say
instance?
I would charge by the hour. I think a good sweet spot for me per client would be hey, 1 hour conversation anywhere from 250 to $500. I
Okay. Oh, it's frozen again.
He's in the country.
He's back. There we go.
Okay, this is just happening. Zoom doesn't do this to me,
Yeah.
but okay. Yeah, I would say I would really like to look over the metrics for myself, but I would say anywhere from like 200 to 250 to 500 would be a sweet spot for a
Okay.
consultancy or just hey, let's have a conversation and you tell me about your business and you kind of like want my advice as to like what direction you would like to go with that. And then
Okay.
going to hey, I can do like an accessibility audit for like your design system, or let me just look at your website. So you want me to just break it down and see if this is usable, see if this is accessible for people who have poor vision or hearing or other impairment disorders that keeps
Yeah.
them from like understanding things. So I can do audits for these businesses or their companies if they want me to streamline or fix their design system, or hey, can you make our website better for us? Then I can offer those services anywhere from like $1,000 to $2,000. I would say this is something that I would is it worth charging hourly, or is it worth charging for the whole package itself? So hey, this is the job and I'm going to get it done by this time. Here's what I'm going to be doing. Here's what you asked me to do. Like here's the problem. Here's the different areas that I'm going to go about tackling that. So I'll just come up with some business scope for the client.
Okay.
So that would
Okay.
that would
Yeah. So out of the two now, so we've got the consultancy over here, and now we've got the
Mhm.
coaching over. We've got the digital coaching over there.
Yeah.
So it's building and scaling a digital course effectively. To you, which is the most time effective and the most profitable?
Which is the most profitable? I would actually say me getting into action and just building for these other clients. So let me build this website for you. Let me run some sort of audit for your website.
So it's the
Uh,
consultancy that's the most profitable out
I,
of the.
I would believe that to be the more profitable, but
So let's say for instance, um, we have to find clients.
mhm,
You have to do the work. So that
right.
is time.
Mhm,
You're charging 250 to 500 to have a consultation. Then you're
mhm,
doing the work. Let's say bottom tier is like $1,000, all the way
mhm,
up to let's say 10,000, depending on the size and scale of it, but just for
mhm,
argument's sake. But then there's only one of you, so therefore, you're pretty much tied into that job for X amount of time.
right.
Whereas on the other hand, you've got a relatively hands-off business model that's massively scalable, that
Yeah.
works without you being there. You only ever have to do the job once. There's no hands-on technical one-on-one stuff because effectively,
Pre-recorded.
yeah, it's all pre-recorded modules. So obviously that's more scalable.
It and after having that initial conversation with you
Yeah,
about that lady and who wants to do like video courses, or it's that you guys want to do video courses,
yeah,
I actually can believe that because I was just going through my head. I was sticking with my stance over hey, here's the services that Maurcell can offer, but since you did mention that hey, doing like educational video courses, a lot of my skill set is really in the realm of aesthetics and like building this experience. So there's the research side of UX, and then there's the actual making these taking these deliverables and turning them into actual like actionable items side of
yeah,
UX. So there's the UI and there's the UX,
yeah.
and then there's like the actual product that you're bringing to fruition.
Uh-huh.
And that's where I come into play, and that's where most of my skills are utilized. So I really can see myself teaching these individuals how I go about designing things, or what my
Yeah,
process looks like,
yeah.
how I can transform this research and how I go about. Yeah.
Yeah, because inside of the VIP area, you know, once you sell the course, let's say, you know, just playing devil's advocate, let's just say there is a course now. You could have these master classes where you're screen sharing and basically taking people through the process of how you would do certain things. But what that would do, what the coaching business would do, is leave a gap open for the consultancy. But the consultancy would not leave a gap for the coaching, coaching, digital coaching product, because that would massively depend on more customers, which means more of your time. So that would effectively fix you within that business as to where you just be a technician, clicking away, sitting in your office, clicking away, all day, every day. Whereas the coaching business would allow you more freedom as to where then you could put your attention towards some consultancy if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah. Those are pretty strong statements right there. And I really I only see that if I want to go about like doing video courses or like something educational, then it still comes down to, hey, Maurcell, you got to build your user base. Hey, you got to like put yourself out there and like give people a taste of, you know, what you've got. And essentially that's your pathway to onboarding these people into, hey, you know, maybe I want to check out a course or two of like Maurcell's, and like there's like a whole UI masterclass. I understand that.
You just need to like open an Instagram account, get you on Instagram, come up with a very simple format of producing content, and just hammer away day in and day out producing certain types of content, you know, to the point where we have, you know, 20 to 30, you know, good 30 seconds to a minute long videos. You know, Instagram's very sort of short form content anyway. And then all we do is start running ads. We can develop that Instagram account to, you know, 20, 30,000 plus within a month or two. And then plug in the course. And then that's it. It's that this is what we've literally done within the last few months for this other company. So all of the components are there. So what I would like to see is like go away and basically develop two concepts. One of the concepts is a coaching business, a digital product, which is massively scalable. And then the other one is the consultancy business, and actually go away and develop two business models. Don't put too much time and effort into it. Make it simple, because it's easier to construct than deconstruct. If there's too much information, then, you know, we're going to be wading through lots and lots and lots of detail. We just need something really simple that we can go, you know, here is the basic components of a workable business that we can test. And then over time, then we can develop and then we can add or attach all the bells and whistles and things like that, you know, over some time.
Just the bare bones.
Yeah. But I think that this exercise will actually give you more focus in terms of what you want to do. Maybe you don't want to do the coaching. I would highly recommend that you do, but maybe you don't. Maybe you want to do something else, or maybe doing this exercise will give birth to another idea. But I think right now, you know, focusing on that kind of drawing board type development is important. You know, getting your ideas out on paper and saying, well, this is what my business looks like. And start to materialize it. But I think you'd be good. I think you'd be good. You're you know, young, you know, good personality, you know, well spoken. You know, people are going to be able to relate to you quite easily. You can talk about your product with confidence and eloquently. So it'd be a no-brainer to put together a course, I think.
And I honestly do find that it's easy to conversate with people, hold a conversation and relate with them. That's all a part of like my networking strategy in the job search. So it really just flows. I've been in the position where I was asked to teach other individuals my process and like, you know, just essentially just give a masterclass for Figma or like Adobe XD. That wasn't too bad, and it kind of did feel good. So now this is me recording myself, which has definitely been something that is on my to-do list, things that I want to do for myself.
Yeah.
So why not monetize it?
Exactly. And I think you'd be good at it. I think you'd present it well. I think you would take to it very easily, because it's just, all that you're doing is being yourself. You know, you're doing what you do anyway. But, you know, the only thing that's changed is that you're in front of a camera talking about it. That's the only thing that's changed, and would have a little bit more structure to it.
Yeah.
But, you know, with anything, with any type of content that we develop, we just come up with a really basic format that we know that works, and then we just duplicate these formats. So we just do the same format about different subjects, but just over and over and over and over again. And we categorize the formats. So we say, okay, so we have format A, format B, format C. These are all of the umbrella terms for this particular subject.
Yeah.
And then underneath those umbrellas, we've got these micro subjects that are to do with the macro subject, and then we have a specific format which we follow every single time, which then makes it easily duplicatable and scalable.
Okay. Yeah.
But all of that kind of stuff, all of the structuring and the systems and things like that, that is just second nature to me. I can reel that off in my sleep. You know, so I've just done it so many times over and over and over again, you know, over the last 2 decades that it's just nothing now. And most of the complexity of building a business is, you know, what to do, how do I do it, you know, how do I develop my ideas, how do I translate my ideas into an understandable format, you know, all this kind of stuff is so simple for me to do, because it's just like,
I can believe it.
If you do something every day, then you just get so good at it. And I can just turn up for work. Sometimes I only even work an hour a day. You know, that's it. But within that hour, you know, I'm doing like $100,000, you know, worth of change within that business, or you know, it just depends on where we're at. But the girl that I'm coaching at the moment, she was just on the hamster wheel. She didn't really have a vision, and then now she does, and now we're looking at a valuation of over $1 million. You know,
yeah.
So
No, I would definitely say that I'm on the hamster wheel. At this stage, but I have ambitions to just jump off. Intrusive thoughts.
Yeah. Well, we have to go from the thoughts. We have to go from the thought stage into the action stage. And, you know, I'm the action taker, and that's why I don't necessarily sit around too long, you know, discussing ideas. You know, once I've got the general idea of what's happening, it's like, all right, I get it. You know, this is. Okay, now we start developing very, very, very simple structures for ideas, and then we test them out, rather than sitting around at the drawing board discussing how good or bad something might be. You know, we develop an MVP and we go out and test it, and then the data tells us if it's good or bad.
Yeah, I like that, and that very much is my process of doing things.
All right,
got to find out with real users.
Exactly. So let's finish it there, because I think that's a good ending point. So as soon as you finish these concepts, and remember, like, just keep it nice and simple. You know, super simple. And then we can come back and then we can talk about it again, and then see where you're at, and you know, and then start to develop something and explore something. But you'll be very surprised at how quickly you can move. And like, you know, literally within a matter of weeks, it's like shit, you know.